The crumbling relics at The View have Joe Biden on, and it probably makes them feel like they're really young. Welcome to Doug and Exile. This is the Doug TenNapel channel. I'm so glad you've subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, then I'm going to have to talk to the management. Welcome.
After 50 years of proud public service, President Joe Biden stepped up to lead us out of the dark.
Out of the dark, she's trying to say that Trump years were dark. These people are part of the statewide cover-up. These are people on The View. They're not here to tell you the truth. This is a giant puff piece, just so you guys know. Biden is not out meeting with world leaders, okay? He's not even out running the country. He's doing these kinds of dog and pony shows on The View to make him look like he's a living, breathing human being.
Mr. President, it was only 2 months ago that you decided to step aside from seeking re-election, putting your country first above any personal ambition.
That's a long question. This is a lecture. Are you going to get to a point at any time heroically putting aside your own ambition? That's a narrative. You know what really happened is the Democrats saw that he was going to lose. So under his protest and his family's protest, they threatened him and threw him under the bus and cheated, broke their own rules to take away the votes from him and give it to a unqualified, borderline, like low IQ diversity hire like Kamala Harris. That's what really happened.
And you passed the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. What have these past 2 months felt like, and are you at peace with your decision?
Well, I am at peace with my decision. Look, when I ran this last term, I said that I saw myself as a transition president.
Yeah,
I knew he was pro-transition. I like her softball question of all softball questions is she basically asked him, if go back and look at it, how do you feel about what you did? You know, everyone has feelings about anything they do, so it's the easiest question in the world. I could go put a sticker on that wall and you can ask me a question. How do you feel about putting a sticker on that wall? And I can actually answer that question because it just requires me to go inside and talk about my feelings, which, you know, I really don't care how Biden feels. I want to know what he did and what is he doing.
But what happened was we were having so much success in getting things done that people thought we couldn't get done.
Right.
I found myself having used more time than I would have ordinarily to, pass that torch.
They're all nodding. I was so successful. I ended up using so much time that I had to pass that torch. This makes no sense. This is, of course, stupid, made for stupid people, and you'd be nodding and you'd be stupid by saying that. I was so effective is why I dropped out. Okay, makes sense to me.
But working with Kamala, she is bright, she is tough, she's honorable. And the thing I like about her, and one thing we share in common, is that we have an optimistic view of the future here.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing we can't do. And there really isn't.
Okay, I just want to unpack that because he's optimistic about the future. So am I. By the way, even if Kamala car wreck wins, I'm optimistic because I believe in you and me, the patriot. And I believe in God. All I want to know from The View and Joe Biden is, are you optimistic and do you believe in a positive future if Trump wins? Because these are the people that said the democracy is over. Okay. And I'm fine with that. Look, I pick a standard. If you want to say, if my opponent wins, the democracy is over. But that means you get to say it and I get to say it. I get to say, if Kamala wins, democracy's over. Okay. So I believe we should all in general be either very positive and optimistic or be pessimistic. I mean, optimistic no matter who wins, or pessimistic no matter who wins. So I'm a glass half full kind of guy in that I know the future, is falling apart before our very eyes. And America is turning into a pagan culture, but I know too many Christians. I know the remnant. It can be 5 people who remain in a civilization, and God will go, that's my remnant. It's still hanging in there.
What advice have you given the vice president
about how to win?
Be herself. Look, she is smart as hell, number one. And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
Okay, that makes all of that stuff Kamala Harris's fault. He just now roped her in. That's foreign policy and domestic policy, all of it. He roped her in. He'd give it to her, part of her leadership. So it's foreign and domestic. The things that we're screwed up on, Kamala Harris has to own them. She can't say, oh, the Trump administration or why things are wrong. No, it's your fault. The border's your fault. The economy's your fault. Borderline 2 world wars are your fault.
Look, the one thing we have in common, she and I, two basic things that are different, departed from some Democrats, some past Democratic notions.
I don't even want to play that quote again. It makes no sense. Do you want me to read it to you? And two basic things that are different, departed from some Democrats, some past Democratic notions. It makes no sense. The girls with you are all nodding. Yes, wise counselor Biden. Thanks for laying it on. And they're looking at each other going like, does anyone understand what he just...
And the other thing is that I don't know all of a sudden how we're so down on the prospects of America.
I'm not down. I'm up. I'm way up. I believe in Jesus. I believe Trump is going to win. I believe even if Kamala's going to win, she's going to be discredited, and she's going to, the America is going to fall under her so precipitously that everyone will learn and hopefully be cured of voting for a Democrat for a long time. But just so you know, why is everyone so down on the prospects of America? Probably because they watch The View that say that Trump is going to be a dictator on day one and he'll never leave office and we have to do something about him. And you know what I mean? It's The View. So Biden, talk to you, Democrats, talk to your side. Okay, talk them off the ledge. Come on back into reality. Don't call Trump an existential threat.
There's nothing we've ever set out to do we haven't been able to do as a people. And we've done it together. Nothing.
Including he's set out to not have his son face charges for tax evasion, for having a gun while he was a felon and a drug addict and facing charges. So yeah, he does have some experience in doing whatever he set out to do.
Stayed in the race, would you have won?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was confident I would beat Trump.
Yeah. And that's why your party threw you out. They were so sure you'd beat Trump, they threw you out.
Listen, I didn't like the way they did it. I'm going to just say it out loud because nobody says it out loud. I didn't like the way it was done publicly. I thought they could have done this in a different way because we didn't need to hear all the inner fighting. I didn't like it. I'm saying it to you. You were my ride or die. I was going wherever you were going, that's what I was doing.
I get the loyalty thing, but what does she mean? She didn't like that it was done out in public. This thing was done in the back room. It was secretive. If that's out in the public, have you seen the infighting of the Republican Party that we do in public with Margie Taylor Greene against Thomas Massey and versus Mike Johnson and Matt Gaetz and Mitch McConnell? We fight out in public. Your side, you went off in a back room and swapped these candidates out. I'm Doug in exile.